deal-making in India differs significantly from developed markets. While the regulatory environment in India is certainly different from developed markets, so is the cultural environment for doing deals. Deals are less about the written contract and more about the softer aspects. Your approach to negotiations needs to be different. Deal-making in India is fundamentally about relationships first, contracts second. Understand that family dynamics, loyalty, and personal relationships will always play a significant role in Indian business. Hello and welcome back to another video. In our previous episode, we looked at strategies and suggestions for collaborating with an Indian partner. In today's episode, we take the discussion a bit further to understand some key considerations when negotiating the terms of strategic investments in India. Because the reality is, deal-making in India differs significantly from developed markets. My name is Ajay Joseph. I'm a partner at Veyrah Law. You can find more information about me and the firm on our website. The link is in the description below. Before we get started, a quick reminder. Please read the disclaimers carefully. With that out of the way, let's get into today's topic. Let us begin by understanding the landscape of deal-making in India. Over the last few decades, since the markets opened up in 1991, India has seen a steady rise in interest from foreign players, all of them keen to be part of India's growth story. While the regulatory environment in India is certainly different from developed markets, so is the cultural environment for doing deals. Most Indian businesses are owned and operated by a founding family, and often professional roles in the business are filled by family members. This pattern creates its own unique nature and dynamics. Couple that with challenges around enforcing contracts in India, and it creates an environment where relationships and personal equations often play more importance than the precise wording of the agreement. While emphasis on contracts has increased, and mostly all businesses in India pay heed to their contracts, in our experience, the seriousness offered to this exercise depends on the institutional nature of the business. Generally speaking, the larger the enterprise, the more professional the approach. And the smaller the business, the less importance to formal documentation. As a natural consequence, deals are less about the written contract and more about the softer aspects. On this topic, there is some interesting data and research from business schools and consulting firms. Research from professors at the Kellogg School of Management and professors at the Indian School of Business reveals that Indian negotiators are significantly less likely to trust their counterparts initially compared to their American peers. In India, while making a deal, the goal is not merely a signed contract, but rather the creation of a relationship between the two sides. PwC's Family Business Survey found that only 63% of Indian family business leaders have formal governance structures in place. Even more telling is that sibling rivalry and succession issues remain among the big challenges facing Indian family businesses, often leading to business splits if not resolved in time. Research also shows that Indian negotiators rank amongst the cultures least sensitive to time considerations, preferring patience and relationship building over speed. So, how does this impact deal-making in India? It means that your approach to negotiations needs to be different. Let's understand some differences in deal-making dynamics that we have seen based on our experience on the deal table. First off, bargaining power does not always translate into a good deal. In India, ceding control is a deeply sensitive issue, especially in family-run businesses. Even if you have significant bargaining power because of the capital you bring, pushing too hard on control can backfire. The family may walk away from the deal entirely, or worse, agree reluctantly and create friction down the line. Control issues must be handled delicately, with respect for the emotional and legacy aspects tied to the business. Next, being upfront and direct does not always render results. Unlike in many Western markets where directness is valued, in India, most businesses take some time to open up. Building trust is a gradual process. Rushing to discuss deal terms or pushing for immediate decisions can be perceived as aggressive or insensitive. Patience in the initial stages often yields better long-term outcomes. Another important point: how you present a position matters as much as what you present. In India, tone, respect, and presentation style can make or break a negotiation. The same proposal presented respectfully versus aggressively can lead to completely different outcomes. Cultural sensitivity in how you communicate is just as important as the substance of your offer. Here is something crucial: economic interest cannot come at the cost of personal dynamics. In family businesses, economic considerations and personal relationships are deeply intertwined. You cannot separate the two. A deal that makes perfect economic sense but disrupts family harmony may not go through. On the other hand, maintaining good personal relationships can open doors, even when economic terms are being negotiated. Another point to note: deal respectfully yet assertively when needed. There is a fine balance to strike. You need to be respectful of the family dynamics and cultural norms, but also assertive about your legitimate interests and concerns. Weakness or excessive deference can be exploited, but aggression will certainly close doors. The key is polite assertiveness combined with genuine respect. Finally, loyalty will outrank competence in some family systems. This is a reality you need to make peace with. In family businesses, loyalty to the family often takes precedence over pure competence when making key appointments or decisions. You may see family members in important positions not because they are the most qualified, but because they are trusted. Understanding this dynamic and working within it rather than fighting it is critical. With these dynamics in mind, here are some suggestions that we would give clients when dealing with Indian family businesses. First, approach strategic investments into existing family businesses with caution. Investing directly into a long-established family business can be complicated. Existing power structures, unwritten rules, family politics, these can all create challenges for a new investor. Consider whether you truly want to be embedded in those dynamics or whether there is a better structure. Second, joint venture arrangements with a shared vision are better incubated into a new company. Rather than investing into an existing family entity with all its legacy baggage, consider setting up a fresh joint venture company. This new entity can have clear governance from day one, with support from the existing infrastructure of the family business where needed. It creates a clean slate, allowing both parties to define roles, responsibilities, and decision-making processes without being constrained by existing structures. Third, hire professional management for key positions jointly and negotiate this upfront. One of the best ways to ensure smooth operations is to bring in professional non-family management for critical positions. Agree on this principle during negotiations and ensure both parties are aligned on hiring standards and processes. This reduces dependency on family members for key roles and creates a more institutional structure. Make sure these appointments are joint decisions, not unilateral ones. Fourth, articulate concerns politely around existing business structures. If the existing business structure is closely intertwined with family dynamics, tread carefully. When you identify potential issues such as unclear reporting lines, overlapping roles, or governance gaps, raise them politely. Frame your concerns as being in the interest of the venture's long-term success, not as criticism of the family. Suggest solutions rather than simply pointing out problems. Even with all these principles, remember, negotiating in India requires patience, cultural sensitivity, and a genuine willingness to build relationships. To sum up, deal-making in India is fundamentally about relationships first, contracts second. Bargaining power must be exercised with cultural sensitivity, being respectful yet assertive. Consider creating new joint venture entities rather than investing into existing family structures. Bring in professional management jointly to ensure institutional governance. And finally, understand that family dynamics, loyalty, and personal relationships will always play a significant role in Indian business. Make peace with that reality and learn to navigate it effectively. One would do well to recall the famous quote, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." With that, we hope this video gave you a better understanding of the nuances involved in negotiating strategic investments in India. If you found this video useful or know of others who may benefit from it, please do share it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.